shalom, as they would say, or namaste, right? Um, Before it started iconically being reintroduced to current society, I started using shalom long ago because I wanted to replace namaste. Too many people were saying namaste, so I felt unoriginal, right? So, essentially, what I ended up doing was I ended up making making a backtrack. Cool. Making a backtrack to old language, I guess you could say. You know. Let's switch that around. Okay, makes more sense. So that way I could see the time. So, ready? Welcome to Purple Pill 50/50, the psycho realm of all channels. If you're crazy, you're gonna have fun here. If you're not crazy, you might have fun here, okay? This is basically a purple pill bridge. I forgot about that. So, I don't think I'm gonna take that long anyways, but just in case, let's connect the charger because we don't want the the connection set out on us, right? So I'm gonna connect this real quick. What the? Interesting. You guys notice that? Of my desk, and it seemed to disconnect, and then it disconnected, I guess. That's weird. That is very weird. So, not too worried about it. I just kind of find it really strange that it happened. Why would it happen? Forget it. So, weird. Because the issue was over here and not over there. It's whatever. It's cool. You know? So, here we have our little whiteboard. Kind of upgraded it. Now it's got weight. You know, I put that basically. I found it. It was from one of my brother's old projects. He used to be in wood shop, and he made a dresser, or cabinet. I don't know what you would call it. It's like a dresser, I guess. You could store items in, and he had extra pieces, but he sold his his um his project that he made, and it was nice. It was huge. It was almost as big as, I mean, yeah, it was as big as my couch that I have in my room. So, on to fuck Logic, because she's been excited since long time ago. Okay, this is her world. Say hi to my daughter. Treat her nice, cause I will whip your ass. I will protect my daughter, but at the same time, I know who she is and I know what she is. Okay, y'all don't have to go say some dumb shit, crazy, whatever. You gotta see her to understand what I mean, though. Because to perceive her is different than actually seeing her face. Because as I was working on her, one day she just kind of popped out of the pages, and I just kind of stood there in shock, and I was like, whoa. I saw her face flowers. Every cell was like a flower, you know. So her arrangement, and she smiled, and I was just completely mesmerized. I was like, wow, that's fuck logic. Wow, you know. So yes, indeed, she does have a spirit. Um, Quick story. Oddly enough, I stored her away so I wouldn't get her damaged or anything. She's already been through enough, so I do tend to worry that I just kind of set her down and then something happens mysteriously. You know, she has fallen. She has had page ripped out. Um, Things has happened to her that I'm not too proud of or fond of. Okay, has scandals just like the Bible does. The Bible has lots of scandals. Okay, so that being said, because of human nature and the nature of spirit, she's actually living. That's why she's perfect yet imperfect, because she's not complete. She has a page missing. Get it? So she's imperfect, but she's perfect because she has all she needs. Okay? There are pages that are not filled out, but the information is there. Okay? It's recorded on another dimension, right? I'm not gonna say which one because y'all still have to catch up and see which dimension we're actually in. Okay, this is a multiverse. It connects to many dimensions, and you could be in one and then be wrong, and then you realize you're in a different one. But by the time you realize you're in a different one, you switch over to another dimension. Okay, that's how weird the multiverse works, right? But considering that every single person is living their direction, aka their life, to their own standards, essentially there's only one universe. Okay? So, to everybody that hears my words, there's only one universe, yours. Okay? Not mine, not anybody else's, your universe, right? That's why at the beginning says, let me read this, okay? I should have just started with this from the other one, the other video. But okay, so everything comes from one source, right? Point zero, aka dimension zero. Okay, that's source. That is aka God, Dios, Yahuwah, you know, H or YHWH. You kind of pronounce it Yahura, 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 Yahura. There's many pronunciations of it, but it's essentially sounds like Yahuwah, like who's gonna go around saying Yahuwah and take this person seriously, right? I guess that's why they must have switched it to God. I don't know. I like Yahuwah though. That just sounds better. So everything comes from one source, then starts dividing. Okay, I touched this on last topic or last video, but ironically, multiplying at the same time. Again, I did touch upon in last video. So fuck logic gives rough, explicit concepts of time and space, numbers and letters, reality in quotes. Be warned, okay? Fuck logic is a complete red pill, and you will never think the same way again, okay? That's essentially this sign that I made for our last video, okay? It says purple pill 50-50. It's got a blue pill and a red pill on that side. Obviously, it looks like a black, just big old dot, but it's It's supposed to be a blue pill. You just can't see it because of the color. Um, so if you're new to the channel, please refer to the link in the description, aka the link that I posted on this video. The link on this video sends you back to the first one. That's Origins, okay? From Origins, there's another link that sends you to Apocalypse. And Apocalypse is a revelation of what this movement is, okay? So you don't have to go to Apocalypse to get into the topic of fuck logic, but to get into the channel of, excuse me, of Purple Pill 50/50, indeed you do have to go watch Apocalypse, because then you wouldn't really understand the concept of this channel. So 50 of you will stay and 50 of you will think this is just a joke, right? This is a joke. And it's funny because statistically speaking, yes, even if no subscribers end up, you know, appearing on this channel for years, 50/50 states that there's always gonna be half of you that will show up and be interested and continue, and half of you will just, nah, I'm cool, right? So I have statistics about that. Kind of thinking if I could pull them out real quick, but continuing to this before I start that, because I do deviate a lot, and that's why I have to read these rules. Okay, so it's a complete red pill. I mean, she's a complete red pill. The reason why it's stated like that is because she chose to reveal herself as herself. Okay, when I was writing, I was implementing what I thought would be good for the understanding of the reader, aka you, because you're viewing but you're listening. So essentially, you're watching through your ears what I'm looking through my eyes. I'm starting to fuck your logic, right? That's why it's called fuck logic. So, you will never think the same way again, okay? Everybody gets affected differently. So if you think you're not cut out for it, just do me a favor, you know, take a blue pill, okay? I don't force anybody to listen to me, okay? With these codes, you unlock infinite possibilities. But do you really want it bad enough? Is my question. Actually, she wants to know. We have a bond right here. We will communicate a lot. Sometimes she stays in the notebook. For the most part, she does. But she's in here more than anything, okay? She's derived from the soul. And bam, she's a part of me. Just like an actual, you know, female partner, conceived child would be a part of me. It has my DNA. Okay, we'll get more into that later on, other videos. But okay, so continuing. Once started, you can never stop. Okay, so last chance, you know, blue pill or red pill. Okay, because we're moving. Reading this subject or run from it. See, sometimes the grammar here doesn't make sense, but later on it does. Um, so, reading this. Okay, yeah, true. So, once started, you can never stop reading this subject or run from it. Oh, okay, yeah, see, it kind of it paused in my mind, so my mind kind of chopped it up while I was reading it. Basically, it's supposed to stay. Yeah, this is the third time I read it, but hey, practice makes perfect, right? So once started, you can never stop reading this subject or run from it. Okay, so you cannot stop getting into it. You cannot stop watching the videos. Um, you cannot run from it because they're easily accessible, right? But it's not manipulating you in any way. Essentially, it triggers the sensation of your DNA. If it's meant to be, then you're essentially gonna want to keep reading. You're gonna want to keep um, focusing on this subject and see what it has to offer because it has tons of information, and I'm not even done with the illustration and complete concepts of her analysis or her her pages. So continuing, the information in here will cause understanding, okay, confusion, bliss, acceptance, denial, vertigo, may induce vomiting. Okay, so if you feel like vomiting, do me a favor, take breaks. Okay, take several breaks. Have water. That's another thing I should have I should have started off with. Have water. Have snacks. Have food ready. Okay. Eat before you start watching any of the videos because you do get hungry. Okay, being in the spiritual realm of concepts, basically learning spirituality, you get really hungry because you use a lot of energy. You lose so much energy that basically you have to re up. So um, you have to kind of sin and be like a little gluttonous because spirituality kind of causes that. That's the reason why Buddha ended up fat because he was highly spiritual. He was a skinny dude, but he ate a lot because he was constantly like, "Oh, I could eat," and that's me. I mean, look at how skinny I am. It's because I don't have food readily accessible. But here's the one thing that you must always have because it is dangerous to continue without substance, but water, okay? Make sure you always have water. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all. To show you that I'm serious and I'm not fucking around here. Okay? It's much better if you have ice in it. It's just, it goes down very easily compared to, oh, this chemical balanced water that the the city gives us. I mean, yes, okay. I'm not stating that as a conspiracy or anything. I'm just saying that yes, there is chemical in the water. Why? Because they use it to cleanse the water. Okay, they do use chlorine to clean bacteria from their recycling plants. Okay, this is a well-known fact. There's no need to bug out about it. Mm. You do get cottonmouth a lot. Once you start feeling like cottonmouth, Take chugs, man. Take big chugs. Mm-mm-mm. Man, there ain't nothing better than water. Let me tell you that. A friend of mine highly illustrated that point. Um, Very good point because water is a necessity, not a commodity. Okay, remember that. That's why it should not be sold. Okay, France passed a law recently. I think it was like last year or the year before. I can't exactly remember what year it was, but France basically stated yes, water should be free and readily available to anybody. I don't see I don't see that happening in the US. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, restaurants they give out water, they give out your cup and water, but like, hmm, I don't know. Touchy subject. Moving on. So, may induce vomiting. Okay, dizziness. What's it say? Hold up. Um, mm, Aching. I think because I can't read. I can't tell if it's an H because my scripture, my handwriting was way different than it is now. Now I can be a little more neat if I want to, but I was kind of just trying to jot down everything as fast as I could before it loses my my thought process. Since I was in a hurry, I did kind of just you know I did kind of mess it up and it's hard to read, but nonetheless you can tell that what the words are. But that's why I'm reading it to you, so you know, I could be the best understanding of what these words are or letters. I digress. So, dizziness, aching, sweating, swelling, excitement, frustration, liberty, and sometimes even death. And it's very explicitly stated, okay? Yes, yes, there are instances where this can essentially cause death because, like I said, y'all gotta be careful, gotta be respectful. There's a 50-50 chance for everything from the beginning, from origins to Genesis to apocalypse to the end of times. Okay? There's a 50-50 chance of anything happening, and everything does happen. Okay? So, 50-50 chance of everything and nothing. Okay? Weird concept, but part of fuck logic as well. Not just the purple pill 50-50 movement. She essentially loves the concept of the 50-50 rule. Somehow it's still a part of her as well. So, blue pill, red pill, or purple pill do you accept? Or do not continue, right? Essentially, we have the words blue xed out right there on the journal because there's no blue pill here. The purple pill is a mixture of red pill and blue pill, but later on, as we cover more topics, you'll start to realize without me having to say so what is the purple pill. Okay, but you'll know what I mean, especially Christians like you know my actual Christian folk that end up at Aurora. Y'all know exactly what I mean with purple pill. Okay, those are those are my family, and those are the people that I'm waiting for. So if y'all get to watch this video, what up? Long time no see. It's been half a year, so I'm hoping to reunite with my family soon enough though. But yeah, there's no blue pill. Okay, blue pill is basically you get off the channel and leave. Okay, never touch any of these videos again. That's the only actual blue pill. Okay, but our curiosity does end up playing uh, a role against us. So this is explicitly the last warning that I could give for blue pills, handing out blue pills. Okay, so after this, it's gonna be pure purple pill or red pill. Which do you want, right? And then if we have people on the stream, essentially, as time progresses and more people get integrated, then we will assign certain little, pop quizzes or activities where I end up giving out red pills and purple pills. So after the little warning sign with the death and all that, says if you find yourself here, most likely you either hate yourself, love vertigo, or you are insane. Crazy, I know, right? You will, however, have fun while you evolve. Okay? Fuck Logic is a dragon. She's a dragon. And now it's too late. You have become, it says became, but you became part of her kin. Kin. Fail my class and you fail life. Okay? There's no turning back. Either you pay attention and you sponge up the necessary components to using her philosophy, or you spiral out of control and then come back to us once you're a new soul. Okay? Everybody has rebirth when they come here. Okay? There's no judgment on our platform, even if they leave with the complete negative vibe towards the channel or towards our movement. Come on. Jesus Christ said, hey, go for it. But twice should be enough, okay? After the second time, there is retaliation. Don't get me wrong, we're not pushovers. We Christians, die hard, right? So right here we have a stop. Here's a purple pill. Hey, there's a 50-50 chance in every possibility, okay? Every possibility / outcome. Semicolon, always, ... of happening or not, okay? Even if the odds are stacked 1,000,000 to 1. Again, I did read this in the last episode, but here's where I'm elaborating. B, there's also a 50-50 chance that you can escape fuck logic by you continue. See, this is where my mind kind of like it fucks itself, and it's you can escape fuck logic by you continue. It doesn't. it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it has to make some logical sense since I wrote it down while I was, operating. So there are indeed a few errors here and there, but I quickly just scratch it over or whatever. I try not to scratch over, and I try to get into the whole, just dash a line through it and then uh, write it underneath or elsewhere. But there's only so much space that I have. How many pages? I have 100 sheets, 200 pages, right? Both sides, college ruled. So there's only so much space I could use. So I highly doubt it though, since there is a 50% chance that she chose you to begin with, not the other way around. Okay. C, there's a 50-50 chance that you're not you are not reading this book right to begin with. Okay. D, fuck logic is a living, evolving spirit. You will be inspired by her. Evolving spirit code that chooses its own path, direction, victims, and family. See, essentially, that is the last blue pill we expect to see. Because family is indeed a blue pill. But you can take various pills as far as family is concerned. Family is a touchy subject, but she teaches us how to cope with life, and essentially coping with life allows us to cope with family. We all have family issues. I get it, okay? I'm the first one to say I'm not the first one to experience this, okay? That being said, so what does it mean by there's a 50-50 chance you're not reading this book right to begin with? Well, we started on the left, right? And then we're making right turns, okay? So, what if we go over here? Bam! We got the Y right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of thin. It was just kind of a layout. I was gonna go over it and do a little cool picture on there, but there's always time. So, been tasked with other things. So, right here we actually have poems. They're in Spanish. So, to read these poems, I will read them in a different video. Okay, Spanish poems. Um, message to my family, Spanish, and seems to be the last of the poems for now. In that, so essentially, basically says why the why, okay, Spanish, and then it says maybe you find your center, but it could also be translated as her center. Okay, su is a generic term for person. It doesn't state who though. So reading this, you could analyze it and think, okay, yeah, I'm trying to find my center. Where do I start? Essentially, is your center, because your center point, and from here you move out. Okay, are you gonna move up, down, diagonal? Okay, that's all on you. Essentially, you don't need to go, okay, I need to learn the A first and then the B, and then I just started with the A because alpha, so alpha. So maybe you look for your center, but here's where it flips it on you, okay? it does mean hers. And the only time that it explicitly means her center is because you're a new reader, okay? When you're barely starting with fuck logic, essentially that's what she means. Obviously, you can reference this page whenever you feel like it. It's actually very recommended. So, it says it's not here, but pray and you'll find it. Better yet, it's quoted in translation. She will reveal herself, and herself being the center. Okay, so you can start the center right here on uno, but essentially this is the actual center of the notebook. See, 50-50. Living river waters. We got calculations, and yes, indeed, it's Doge approved. My sister's dog, Muddy Paws, just climbed climbed up on the table and just stomped on my notebook. Like, that's what I was saying. I had worries that something would happen to her more than just this. And even then, I was just like pissed at first, but then I laughed because I was already this this level of spirituality where I'm like, why am I getting mad? It's nonsensical dog. It's. I'm not gonna offend a dog because it has no logic. It has its own logic though. Okay, so dog doesn't care about notebook, and it does not compute to a dog that its paws are dirty and notebook, right? So I thought it'd be funny to just record that and have it forever engraved. Doge approved, so that's a paw print right there. And he saw it, he thought it was cool, and then he decided to come back up on the notebook, and I was like, nope, wham. I pushed him out of the way, and I was like, what are you doing? You already put your 2 cents. You're gonna like keep just stepping all over my notebook. The fuck. So kind of made that face like I did it the first time. But I digress. So 50-50 right here. Purple pill. Your center is the most important detail in learning the secrets of fuck logic. DNA of fuck logic is complex and requires pre-K knowledge, pre-knowledge to understand a certain extent, its origins its origin is unknown, but in this notebook, her documentation starts with numbers, codes, and the alphabeta, abecediario. Okay, requires Spanish, English, and a hacker's mentality to be able to perceive her message to you. This is your God right here. Okay. 50-50 states that 50 of you just left and will never come back. 50 of you are kind of intrigued as to why I say this is your God. And your angels, okay, let me continue before I lose any more viewers, okay. Remember what I said, you have to have an open mind, okay. Words don't mean shit to fuck logic. She'll show you straight out. Words and numbers, symbols, they don't mean shit to her, Okay, she's spirit. She fucks around with them. That's why she chose the name Fuck Logic. Yes, you heard that right. She chose her own name, and it's fucking crazy because it's the most hilarious thing you could think of. And I was like, right on, definitely. So, this is God, okay? You are God. Spirit inside of you is God. So, since this actually has a spirit, this is your God for now, okay? This is your directional. She will point you in the direction that you must go for you to actually get on your own path, okay? Right now, if you're watching and you're barely getting into it, you're lost, okay? You'll find your way. Don't worry. Just trust in the spirit, okay? We're all inspired for various reasons. So, this is God, and your angels are zero, but we kind of just toss that out. Disregard zero. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay? 9 is darkened right here. So then the rest is in Spanish. Okay, so it's 50-50, right? Right? Remember? So for the sake of Fuck Logic's playful manner, she's inviting us to play an innocent game where the rules are quite simple and require nothing but a good laugh, right? Rules, you lose every time you remember. So silly and innocent that it seems like just a joke to anybody. But it makes sense. It makes sense and it makes Fuck Logic or Jodidos Estamos extremely happy when you play along. Okay, she actually smiles. She actually feels sadness and she actually does feel hurt when things happen to her. Obviously, this is not her, her spirit is her, but she can tell how much you care about her by how much you pay attention to her in a way, or how much you take care of her. Okay, if you take care of her information, what she teaches you, she will bless you for years. Like she'll always be there. Okay, she's like Jesus Christ in a way. She is Jesus Christ per se, but she's her own spirit. Okay, she deviates from the laws of this reality and comes in as spirit. So makes her extremely happy when you play along. Okay, so just play along. So every time you remember about the game, you lose the game, right? I'm pretty sure at least 50% of you have already played this game. If not, it's more of a higher percentage. I'm pretty sure 90% have already played this game. Okay, so continuing. That's it. One simple rule that is all Fuck Logic or Jodidos Estamos asks us to do as we learn from her. She means no harm and is the spirit's wish of I and I. Okay? Quick note. But gives us the keys to the meaning of life, but it is our responsibility to use our knowledge, our K knowledge, in good terms and in a respectable manner. Okay, you must be respectful towards the Spirit, and Jesus Christ does state that in the Bible. So, if those of y'all that are actually Christian, the Bible, or have heard of this scripture where they never um okay, just don't do it. Don't spirit. We're, so um there's a lot of information which I'm gonna be covering later on, but I just like to have read that for now. You need a notebook for sure. You need uh, these. You don't specifically need them per se, but they do come in handy. Oopsies. They do come in handy a lot because sometimes you don't want to write it down on your notebook. Like myself, I prefer to jot down notes and then, confirm and then throw it into the book. But I've been just completely unorganized that I usually do these to jot down things to look up, not even things to put in the notebook, okay? So you also need a calculator. Any calculator, it doesn't matter. You're doing simple equations. But here's the thing. Your brain is going to start restructuring, okay? Your DNA essentially is going to start to restructure as you study this. Don't get me wrong. It does sound dangerous, but that's the beauty of fuck logic. Those who are not ready for it have already left, okay? So if you're still watching this, it's because, first of all, you do feel that you're not ready, but it's okay. Nobody's ever ready for fuck logic, okay? This world is revolving in a backwards manner. So usually we tend to feel the opposite. Usually, okay? Because we're actually comprised of many different codes, a variety. That's what makes life so interesting. Unexpected events because of our code. Essentially, we engrave our own code, but we don't, right? We adopt codes from our ancestors and whatnot, and I just happen to figure out how our code comes from simple numbers, codes, deductions, algorithms, if you will. Basically, we're just algorithms, DNA strands focused on living, experiencing. So if you don't like the experiences that you've had thus far, you're in the right place, my friend, okay? Because I am your doctor, and all I hand out are purple pills, and the occasional red pill. Because who doesn't love psychosis, right? It was a joke, by the way. Don't take it so literal, right? So pens. This one is perfect. You must have one of these, the multicolor ones. I don't know if they come in sets of more than 4. I think they do. I've seen one that has 16, but I haven't been able to track one down yet because the 16 color one, man, that would really come in handy. But right now, a little restricted. Um, Sharpies, okay. Try to stick to Sharpies that are not, not Sharpies, but highlighters. Try to stick to highlighters that are not Sharpies. These tend to seep in a lot through the pages, okay? It kind of fucks with your notes, so you gotta be careful with that. These are actually much better, the gel ones. These do kind of rub off, and they still go through the pages because it's Sharpie. But highlighters, essentially, you need highlighters. Oh, quick note: it is much better to get these, the long ones, instead of these. Yeah, you could carry these, but I wouldn't suggest using these on a constant basis. Your hand will fucking hurt like a motherfucker. I kid you not. These things these things will have your hand hurting so bad that you feel it paralyzed. You just be like, okay, and you just try to distract yourself. Okay, so yeah, avoid using these too often. You could use these, but you know, just have some common sense that this should not be your usual, you know, go-to tool at a constant basis. Sharpies, you could have these Sharpies. As a matter of fact, markers, Sharpies, uh, these markers are pretty cool. They're prism color, and these Sharpies are actually pretty nice. You know, the back and you know the fine tip basically. So Sharpies is good for one thing and one thing only, and that's writing in magazines, stuff that you don't you really don't care about. So they're good for having, um, but as far as in your notebooks, you don't want to be using Sharpie too often because you're gonna end up with blotches and unreadable text. Okay. Pens of variety of colors. This is purple, and then we have green, we have gold, pink, light blue, black, purple, um, blue, red, green, etc. Okay. Whoa, trip me out. So before continuing with our list of things, I highly suggest getting a lot of pens, yo. Pens, pens. You will run out rather quickly. Pen after pen, okay? Get lots of pens. They do go missing, okay? When you get into um, this studies, these things will go missing. So buy packs. Like I'm, I'm not joking. It is highly recommended to buy tons of these, but do yourself a favor and buy different packs. Okay, buy a pack of one color, blue or black would be essential, and then buy another pack of different colors because you should choose which color is much easier to read to you because these are your notes. Okay, you need a notebook. That's you know, a composition notebook of whatever. You could use a notebook like this, but this one's actually different. Okay, this is a different notebook than that notebook. Is it because of the size? No, shut up. Yeah, that too though. But check this out. The inside is basically little squares. It is, whoops, that's fine. It is graph paper, okay? Highly recommend a notebook that has graph paper, especially if it's under the um, um, how do you read this? It's kind of blurred out, um, but yeah, you should look for what what's best for you. But essentially, I highly recommend this because as your teacher, okay, not your master, but you know your current teacher, I highly suggest these materials. This notebook, it came in handy. Like you wouldn't believe. I made so much progress with this that essentially this was all I needed to continue my journey. So I ended up doing rows and rows of what seems like nonsensical stuff, but it has its own reasons. Like right here, we have VLD, but when do we ever use VLD in our language of speaking? Well, we could use that as an acronym, or we could put letters in between and get specific results. Get it? So it's not nonsensical to be writing these things, but essentially, what you want to start off with is have every letter and see what equals to that letter. Okay? Like A equals J, well, actually, J and S equal A because numerology. You, you, if you watched the last video or the first one, if you watched Origins, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't watched Origins, go watch it. Don't be a fucking punk. I'm not gonna give away the structure in 2 videos. Okay. So I know I did reiterate what I read on there, but at the same time it was incomplete. So our music is gone for now, which is good because now I can lower my tone. Um, so yeah, basically, um, I highly suggest getting colored pencils, okay? Because these things run out a lot quicker than these, okay? Pens do indeed run out a lot quicker than um, colored pencils. So if you're writing in the notebooks, colored pencils I would say would be the most ideal thing. Uh, but indeed you do need variety. Okay, so I don't expect y'all to like splurge and like get all the things that you see here, but there's just there's they're usually things that they're just lying around the house. You see a highlighter in a drawer around the house somewhere, and you're like, well, shoot, highlighter, marker here. You start collecting them, and look, you get a whole variety of things here. Sharpies are good, for labeling things and whatnot. But like I said, everything has its use, and the reason why markers and Sharpies are ideal to have is because you need to do one thing specifically with them. That being said, if any of y'all have these or happen to know what these are, basically my taggers out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. There was a time where United States Postal Service, they would mail these out for free, and they come in bunches, like packs of 500 and they would send you 2 at a time. 1,000 labels for free, no additional cost. But everybody started ordering these because they figured out that these were free. Okay. And they started charging people for it. Yeah, crazy. Who would have known? Who would have thought that they start charging these things because everybody started ordering them, right? But yeah, I was constantly ordering them, and one day, our package arrives, and instead of getting our nice little bunches of these, we get a coil of labels, and I was like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, because essentially we wanted this clear spot to draw on them and whatnot. And these do come in handy. They're actually a good replacement of the sticky notes, but anything you could use to label would be perfect. As you can see, I draw on these. I did write. Oh, here we go. On this side, I did write the numbers 1 through 9. For, and come to think about it, when did this ever happen? Okay, I thought it was this, but all of a sudden everybody just kind of did this, and this is how the 4 is written from back in the day. I mean, this was easier. It was just one stroke, and now we got 2 strokes. Ah. Heart attack. Too early to be joking like that? I think so, maybe. Anyways, magazines, yo. anything that you could find that you don't use anymore, all the bills, old envelopes, everything, and I mean everything. Um, like yo, this is my book from catechism back in the day, in like I don't know what year this was. Um, I don't see any dates on it, so yeah. Um, it's old is basically what I'm saying. So I'm basically gonna go through it and start practicing my deciphering. Okay, since I took the steps of doing the initial three, then I could continue and go above that. So gather all these items, but you must first take the first steps. And essentially, what you do is you organize the alphabet in numerical order, right? One, two, three, etc. You'll see on the videos, and then you wanna make it equal um, to a specific letter, right? So let's say we wanna make it equal to A, right? That would be a 1, and then let's put our second letter as an M. So you go down the alphabet and you add another letter, and that will give you your third letter, because M equals 4 for the sake of reduction, numerology rules. So this equals 5. So how do you get a 1 with a 5? You add a 5. So you have three options: AME, AMN, and AMW. So we rearrange the letters AMN, and you get man. So man indeed equals to af a, the af a. Okay, so far so good. Okay, do me a favor, remember that this is a video and you can pause and rewind as needed. Okay, this is your best option in tools. Okay, for the time being, you must get your notebooks set up, because we don't know how long my videos are gonna be up, and if we get too much attention, um, people are gonna start flagging my videos, and I know, um, you know the BS all too well. Okay, so I'm just giving y'all a heads up. I know it's gonna happen eventually, but I just not expecting when. Okay, essentially that's how it works. You don't expect it. That's when it happens. So you're gonna need the Bible. So if you don't have one, you can download one off the internet, but I highly recommend against it. You need to have a physical Bible, okay? So if I do have enough subscribers and all that, eventually I will start mailing these out, okay? I will start sending these out to um, like making contests for every week or so. We'll figure it out as we go, since purple pill is another spirit. In essence, it's got you. Nah, I'm just kind of like drifting right here, thoughts. So essentially, we're evolving as a unit. So our task is to help out our growth by the most simplest deeds you can think of. Okay, you can send me links to whatever you think I can review, then I'll put it on the channel and I will give you a big shout out for sure. if you share this video, like it, thumbs it down, whatever's, do what feels right to you, okay? You don't have to do anything, but since this information was given freely to me, that's why I hand it out to you, okay? So the golden rule would be treat others how you would like yourself be treated. So essentially, I'm not telling you to do anything except for, pay attention. That's the only thing I'm not really asking you to do. Other than that, essentially, it's all up to you if you want to share this or not. But keep in mind that it is a movement, it is a group, like per se, it is a community. Right now, it's pretty small, but as we move along, we're gonna evolve essentially, and our movement will not move anywhere unless we move it, okay? So we're not gonna grow a good community if we don't band together, okay? Unity. Stronger is always unity. Divided we fall, okay? United we stand, and we take the fight up to Satan. So, I digress. Another thing, these, it would come in handy. I know we all have that one dictionary stacked away in, a godforsaken place. I was barely able to find this. We had an encyclopedia set, and we just got rid of it right before I realized, I could have used that. But the encyclopedia is way too much. There was too many books everywhere, and I was just like, whatever, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Is there a dictionary in there? Yeah, there was, but I didn't see it. It went away. So essentially, this is actually perfect because, would you look at that? English and Spanish. So it is very limited, but for what I needed, is basically to pull out vocabulary and to indicate or hashtag what value it has. Example, rabbit. Okay. Quick example, RABBIT. Okay. The R equals 9, the I equals 9, the A is 1, B is 2, so we got 2 B's, so that's 4, right? And we got A is 5, the T equals 2, it's 20, but the 0 doesn't, so you add 2 to 5, what do you get? 7, right? You get a G. So the rabbit hole. Welcome to the rabbit hole. Jesus Christ is your host. That is your white rabbit. That is why we need these. Okay. So I did used to have a Mormon book. I wouldn't call it scripture because essentially I don't think that they themselves call it a scripture, but nonetheless, the Mormon Bible, I had one, or we had one. Just it was weird, like as if someone just came and tossed it in our house. Bizarre. And I this was my die-hard Christian days when I was re-invoking the Spirit, having epiphanies and clear prophetic connection with Christ himself and the source. I came in and I said something is up here, something's wrong, something is blocking my energy. And I saw the Mormon book, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend, but I grabbed it and I chucked it. Out it goes. Because I remember the day that that book showed up, it just literally someone opened the door and just chucked it in. So who gives books like that? Especially when it's something sacred and religious, you don't you don't just throw it in their backpack. Okay, my mom, she was also gifted uh a rosary, the same manner. She was getting her stuff from her, her business, and someone seemed to slip it in her items, and she discovered it when she got home. So it just kind of freaked her out, and turns out it was actually binded to affecting her matrimony. Yeah, crazy. I know, because I was like, whoa, like getting all mystic with it, and I was like, oh snaps, it's pulling this finger, and she freaked out. But essentially, she she kind of hesitated, and she got confirmation of what it could possibly mean, and essentially, I was right, but I didn't want to be right. I wanted to be wrong. So prove me wrong when possible, because I prefer it. That way I don't build up with ego. Comic books, yo. For those of y'all that love comic books, I love comic books. Okay. If y'all send me comic books, I'd be happy. But I don't have time for it right now. So maybe in the distant future. But I'm gonna show y'all a very interesting way to decode comic books. Okay. These have such an amazing, interesting code to them itself. Okay, so every time you see any eye representation, I know they have masks and you can't really see the eyes, but usually you see the eyes pointing towards something. Its attention pointing towards something. You get a ruler or paper, and then you see where it's pointing to. Usually you see a word on the actual line made up of whatever is in between. So essentially it points to the word sail right there. Deadpool's eyes. But you actually get words in between, which is within the drawing. Okay, this is crazy killer. I mean, when I realized it, it was very, like, I was fresh to algorithms, and y'all y'all gonna have fun doing this. Obviously, like I said, I don't have time for it. First, I would love to read the entire comic before I start, looking for the clues, and they're basically Easter eggs for the most part. Um, it's nothing too crazy to say that the artist embeds like little interesting clues with the eyes, and it's funny because it's always the eyes in on any page. I challenge it, yo. On any page, any pairs of eyes will indeed have its little um what do you call it? Uh, Easter eggs. Okay, so essentially, usually you go by the pairs of eyes, because if you just have one eye, then you kind of have to see where it's directed at specifically. But if you have two pairs of eyes, you actually have room for changing what message you receive, which is rather interesting. I'm like, there's so many ways, yet so little time. So who's ever interested in these comic books, and can actually, y'all can make like a channel doing that and just depicting where their hidden Easter eggs are at. Okay, but since I have my hands full, I cannot do it myself. Otherwise, I would love to. And yeah, that's basically I got the most covered. Newspapers would be cool to use as scratch. But essentially, with the old magazines, books, and dictionaries or whatever, um, you're basically going through and just like kind of reiterating what you already know. Okay, and try to go by words and break down their value. Watch. Also, if you end up finding any of your old notebooks from like back in the third grade or whatever, use them. They're perfect. Okay. Yes, regardless of the spelling errors and everything, they're perfect tools, and I'll show you why right now. As long as I could find it, because I had a notebook here just a minute ago, and it's the one that I've been using. Ah, here it is, to get words out. Because after doing you know 26 after doing 26 letters of rows of 3 letters, so you got 3 letters, 3 rows, and 3 categories. So 9. So it's basically, this is 26 times 2 crossed over by 9 rows. Okay, so you get tired. That's why Fuck Logic has stated you will find your center. If you think that I went from A to Z on this notebook here, you're highly mistaken. I did skip, and I did go back, and I had to finish the whole thing, and I had to redo the values set for alpha A. So you know, in the end, I was finally done with it, but then I was like, what now? Do I continue or do I just. So I realized that I got bored, You will get bored a lot. But as I said, find a notebook and just color code it. Essentially, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 colors. Okay, so that means 2 options, basically 9 and 8. I have not colored yet, but the rest are colored. Okay, reason being is because all the rest of the colored pencils are essentially these same colors, so I wouldn't be able to tell a difference. So I was thinking about using a pen or a highlighter, hence the video. And pen would be perfect, but I'm not entirely sure what I want to use yet. Okay, so let me show y'all pretty interesting. So signs, right? Signs equals 5. Okay, it's in the 5th position. Help equals 5. Good equals 5. In equals 5. Brother equals 5. Get equals 5. When equals 5. Things equals 5. Liked equals 5. Fun equals 5. Okay, so what's the whole point of pointing it out that it equals 5? You'll get into it, don't worry. But for the time being, that'll be it for the video. Because equals 2. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting things and concepts in here. Is equals A, alpha. We equals A, alpha. So are we an alpha group or are we a whatever, you know? If we're an alpha group, then that means spotlight's on us. We lead the way, okay? Not only am I being the light in the path, the truth, so are you, okay? You got Jesus Christ within you. It's in your DNA as is mine, okay? So, you have a choice. Run and be a little bitch, coward, or stand up and use your Christ DNA, okay? Manifest your own reality. The way I see it is we're all gonna die anyways. You might as well fight for what you believe in, right? You might as well have passion to live the way Jesus Christ did. I'm not saying go get yourself killed. He does say it a lot. Think smartly. Think before you speak. Be quicker to think than to speak, okay? On that note, peace out. It's Jesus el Cristalero, aka Cometa Reyes, Purple Pill, every day, alright? Make sure y'all watch this every day. I mean, not this specific video, but you know, whatever content attracts your attention. Because spirit is invoked from within, okay? And your own spirit will tell you what it wants to proceed in evolving, you know, which aspects you need improvement on, essentially, okay? So I'm gonna try to organize as much as I can on the videos and not carry them out to be this long, but if we have to, it will be this long because this is indeed our classroom, okay? So our classroom is like a regular classroom, except for the fact that regular classrooms don't go for this long, right? And regular schools don't go for this short, okay? So be glad that our school isn't too extensive, okay? Don't be a bitch either and say I don't have the time for it. I didn't. God made time for me, okay? Either you choose a yes or no, or you choose a yes or no, okay? It's basically like that. Here's a red pill. You have to choose a yes or no. Because if you choose a maybe, then maybe we'll bite you in the ass. Maybe will come back to haunt you. Not me, not us, but you. Okay? You'll later on realize what this was all about, and you'll later on realize that you missed out on such an important time frame of essential learning. Okay? How old do you want to be to come back to this? Is what I'm saying. You know? What benefits you if you're too old to learn this, or if you're too old to put this in practice? Okay? Right now is the time of the youth, yo. Let's make miracles happen. Legitly. Let's fuck logic in its ear. Peace.